Here's one for you, Plymouth fans. Super ultra rare, 1 of 56, Plymouth Barracuda for 1969, convertible, power top, a 318 car ordered out of Philadelphia at Southern Motors. And it's a very high option car. It's X9 black over R6, which was called Scorch Red from Plymouth for that year. And the top is a power top with a glass back, which is correct from the factory. A lot of people go with the cheaper ones. But the Plymouth here has an odd story for 1969. You know, Plymouth was always the lower subordinate of the Dodge division, and they competed against each other as well as against other makes. But it leads to a larger story again. But before we go to that larger story, take a look at that front grille. It's almost like Batman's car. It's amazing, man, how the styling they did that. Almost reminiscent, you know, definitely later 60s. Definitely not quite to the GTO level. but still along those same lines. You got different separate buckets with the floating turn signals and the headlights. Light package on this car. Again, loaded with options. And who can forget the summer of 69? Okay, so in 1969's Plymouth, they were trying to put out cars that actually had customer appeal, style, and take a look at this. This car oozes a lot of style. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And you know what? And that's from the lower division of Chrysler. That's a Plymouth. It's super high-end, loaded with options, and there's a reason behind that. Because as I found out, this was an ordered car from Southern Motors out of Philadelphia. Someone had some money, and they sure did. So let's open up the hood. They did not order the 340, which was available, which is basically a race-inspired high-performance engine. Instead, these people opted for a 318. But however, that's where the mystery kind of deepens, is that they put a passenger engine in there, but it has manual disc brakes, bumper guards front and rear, console 4-speed, buckets, tachometer, AM/FM radio, console 4-speed. I mean, this car is loaded from the factory, and it's ordered that way. So what somebody did is they ordered an extremely expensive Plymouth with a 318 passenger car. So I'm not sure what they were going for. Maybe it was a graduation gift, or maybe a young person's car, and mom and dad, you know, didn't want them killing themselves with a 340 race engine or whatnot. Whatever the case, someone in Philadelphia had some money and they ordered this thing. Now, in the place, when you look at in terms of, again, Chrysler sales overall, Chrysler ended up against Ford and GM at about 15% of total sales. Sorry if that seems so loud, but that's the way they were. They were not like the more expensive cars. This was an economy car for back then, even though it has an incredible amount of style. You know, Chrysler overall had a 15% market share versus like GM and Ford. But when you came to these cars, they had a 30 to 33% market share. For the simple fact that in the similar price segments, GM and Ford were not offering a good value. You know, you had like Chevy Vega I'm not downing the Vega. The Vega is what it was. It was cheap, it was nice, but it didn't give you the room, the headroom, the shoulder room, the leg room, nor the trunk space, because Chrysler sunk the spare tire below the trunk floor. So all of your trunk room was usable for luggage, etc., family friendly, and that's why these cars enjoyed a 30 to 33% market share. In other words, these cars right here were the bread and butter for Chrysler overall. Their bigger brothers, the GTXs, the Coronet RTs, the 446 packs, the Hemi cars, were all very good and very nice, but they were extremely expensive. But you could get a car like this with superior dimensions to it at a fair and good price relative to the competition. And that's why they had commanded such a large market share. And this is one of the rare ones. X9 black from the factory, power top, glass back, A62 rally dash, interior decor package, tachometer, front disc brakes. This, my friends, is a rare one. And there you have it. Gauze Garage. Thank you.